Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Band Together Leadership. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach me at my email address, which is BAND, the number two, together, band together, Comcast.net. And I'm hoping the audio is okay. This is the third take, and my audio seems to get wonky at the beginning, so hopefully it's not getting wonky. All right, anyway, go to my website, conductingmylife.com, where you can get my handsome book, Conducting My Life. Life Lessons of a High School Music Teacher. Also, go to the curriculum tab and you'll see that I'm part of the John Maxwell team. And I'm certificated to do several different books by Don Maxwell. And here's one of them, Learning to Become a Person of Influence. Also, I love this one as well. This is Winning with People. So if you're interested in me coming to your business, your school, your church, or to you, contact me at BAND, the number two, together, band together, Comcast.net. So I'm retired on December 22nd, 2021. Yes, in the middle of the school year, I said, I'm not part of this world anymore. I don't really fit. So my wife was kind enough to say, Paul, we can do it. But what we need to do is supplement the income. And this is one way to do it. If you do like the video, you like the content, and you want to throw some change my way, I take it. Also, please hire me, and I would like to get out there and help you become better because it's a hug. Hug in the sense of I get and I receive. I give and I receive. That's what a hug is, simultaneously. So I help you get better, and I find myself getting better too, and better people make better leaders. And on January 26, 2022 at 10:04 a.m. in California, we need that badly, not just in California, but around the nation. So we're working on John Maxwell's book, which is 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. One of my go-to books. I've read this book several times. In fact, I'm reading it right now. You can see I do have a, there it is right there. Boom. So I'm reading it again. We're going to work on chapter 6 today, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. The law of solid ground. Trust is the foundation of leadership. I personally learned this, and I is always going to be Dr. Maxwell. Dr. Maxwell personally learned the power of the law of solid ground in the fall of 1989. It happened during a very busy time when Dr. Maxwell was the senior pastor at Skyline Church in San Diego. Every year, they created and performed a major Christmas production. It was really a big deal. The cast, well, included more than 300 people. The staging was elaborate on the level of most professional productions. Each year, more than 25,000 people saw the show, and it had become a San Diego tradition, having been produced annually for more than 2 decades. That year, the fall season was very hectic for Dr. Maxwell. They had several new programs starting at Skyline Church. Preparations for the Christmas show were in full swing. In addition, Dr. Maxwell was doing quite a bit of speaking and traveling around the country. And because he was so busy, Dr. Maxwell let his choleric nature get the better of him and made a big mistake. Dr. Maxwell very quickly made 3 major decisions and implemented them without providing the right kind of leadership. In 1 week, Dr. Maxwell changed some components of the Christmas show. In 1 week, he apparently discontinued his Sunday service. That'd be the evening service. And then he fired a staff member. It was not the decisions, it was his leadership. What's interesting is that none of his 3 decisions was wrong. The change in the Christmas program was beneficial. The Sunday evening service, though enjoyed by some of the older members of the congregation, was not building the church or serving a need that was not already being met elsewhere. And the particular staff member Dr. Maxwell fired had to go, and it was important that he not delay in dismissing this person. Dr. Maxwell's mistake was the way he made those 3 decisions. Because everything in the Skyline Church was going so well, Dr. Maxwell thought he could act on the decisions without taking everyone through the deliberate steps needed to process those decisions. Ordinarily, Dr. Maxwell would gather his leaders cast a vision for the leaders, answer questions, and guide them through the issues. Then Dr. Maxwell would give them time to exert their influence with the next level leaders in the church. And finally, once the time was right, Dr. Maxwell made a general announcement to all, letting them know about the decisions, giving them plenty of reassurance, and encouraging them to be a part of the new vision. But Dr. Maxwell did not do any of those steps. And Dr. Maxwell should have known better. The result? Mistrust. It wasn't long afterward that Dr. Maxwell began to sense unrest among the people. He also heard some rumblings. At first, his attitude was that everyone should get over it and move on. But then he realized that the problem wasn't them. The problem was with Dr. Maxwell. Dr. Maxwell had handled things badly. And on top of that, his attitude was not very positive. Not good when you're the dude who wrote a book called The Winning Attitude. That's when Dr. Maxwell realized that he had broken the law of solid ground. For the first time in Dr. Maxwell's life, his people did not completely trust him. As soon as he realized he was wrong, he publicly apologized to his people and asked for their forgiveness. Your people know when you make mistakes. The real question is whether you are going to fess up. If you do fess up, you can often quickly regain their trust. That's what happened with Dr. Maxwell once he apologized. And from then on, he made sure to do things right. He learned firsthand that when it comes to leadership, you just cannot take shortcuts, no matter how long you have been leading your people. It did not take long for Dr. Maxwell to get back onto solid ground with everyone. As he has explained in developing the leader within you, a leader's history of successes and failures makes a big difference in his or her credibility. It's a little like earning and spending pocket change. Each time you make a good leadership decision, it puts change in your pocket. Each time you make a poor leadership decision, you have to pay out some of your change to the people. Each leader has a certain amount of change in his or her pocket when the leader starts in a new leadership position. From then on, the leader either builds up the leader's change or pays it out. If the leader makes one bad decision after another, the leader keeps paying out change. Then one day, after making one last bad decision, the leader is going to reach into the leader's pocket and realize there's no more change. It doesn't even matter if the blunder was big or small. When you are out of change, you're going to be out as the leader. A leader who keeps making good decisions and keeping recording wins for the organization builds up the leader's change. Then even if the leader makes a huge blunder, the leader can still have plenty of change left over. That's the kind of history Dr. Maxwell had at Skyline Church, which is why he was able to rebuild trust with the people very quickly. Trust is the foundation of leadership. To build trust, the leader must exemplify these qualities: competence, connection, and character. Anthony Harrigan, who was president of the United States Business and Industrial Council, says the following. He says, "The role of character always has been the key factor in the rise and fall of nations. And one can be sure that America is no exception to this rule of history. We will not survive as a country because we are smarter or more sophisticated, but because we are, we hope, stronger inwardly." In short, character is the only effective bulwark against internal and external forces that lead to a country's disintegration or collapse. Whew. And this is being recorded on the 26th of January, now we're at 10:12 a.m. in California. I think this is coming out to you sometime mid-February. I do not know what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 weeks, but I do know what's happened the last 2 years. We're doing all we can to avoid disintegrating and avoid collapse. We need leaders to step up. Character makes trust possible, and trust makes leadership possible. That is the law of solid ground. Character communicates. Whenever you lead people, it is as if they consent to take a journey with you. The way you trip, the way that trip is going to turn out is predicted by your character. With good character, the longer the trip is, the better it seems. Character communicates many things to follow. And again, I don't have a lot of time, but I want you to buy the book. So I'm going to skim all of this right now. Character communicates consistency. Leaders without inner strength cannot be counted on day after day because their ability to perform changes constantly. NBA great Jerry West commented, "You can't get too much done in life if you only work on the days when you feel good." If your people don't know what to expect from you as a leader, at some point they won't look to you for leadership. Again, we're skimming these. Character communicates potential. John Morley observed, "No man can climb out beyond the limitations of his or her own character." Craig Weatherup explains, quote, "You don't build trust by talking about trust. You build trust by achieving results, always with integrity and in a manner that shows real personal regard for the people with whom you work." When a leader's character is strong, people trust that leader, and they all trust in the leader's ability to release their potential. That not only gives followers hope for the future, but it also promotes a strong belief in themselves and their organization. Character communicates respect. When you do not have strength within, you cannot earn respect without. And respect is absolutely essential for lasting leadership. How do leaders earn respect? By making sound decisions, admitting their mistakes, and putting what's best for the followers and the organizations ahead of their personal agenda. J.R. Miller once observed, "The only thing that walks back from the tomb with the mourners and refuses to be buried is the character of a man. This is true. What a man survives him, it can never be buried." Wow. A leader's good character builds trust among his followers. But when a leader breaks trust, the leader forfeits the ability to lead. That, again, is the law of solid ground. First trust, then support. I like that. First trust, then support. Again, I'm skimming this because, well, I do want you to buy the book, but I also want to keep these under 15 minutes. Whenever a leader breaks the law of solid ground, the leader pays a price in his leadership. No leader can break trust with his or her people and expect to keep influencing the people. Trust is the foundation of leadership. That is the law of solid ground. Again, please buy his book. I can't say it enough. Better people make better leaders. I am not perfect. I've never said that. I don't like the sound of my own voice. It's kind of nasally. It's kind of ugly. Speaking about that, help me with this production. If there have been any sound blips going on, it's because it's just me doing it. I'd love to have people join the team, make the team grow. We need to help one another get through these next 5, 10, 15 years. We do. Begin with the end in mind. Every choice you make is who you are, so choose wisely. Seek first to understand, then be understood. And finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's why I do this, because I care about you. Thanks a lot for your time, and I hope this has helped one person. If you're interested in helping me, BAND, the number 2 together, Comcast.net. Have a great day.